Well, East Texas ranchers are feeling the effects of the recent cold weather. And as we get ready to experience more freezing temperatures here in East Texas, KLTV's Lauren Taylor looked into how cattle ranchers are working hard to make sure their herds stay healthy.
We've had a couple really tough winters the past couple years after having several soft winters. So we have been pushing it really tight the last couple years.
Rancher and owner of Cut Beef, J. Scott Herod, says caring for cattle in the cold requires preparation.
In the winter, a cow is going to consume about 30% more calories on a weekly basis than they will in traditional weather.
And that adds up. Herod estimates the extra food and mineral and vitamin blocks cost him about $2,000 extra per week for his 8 herds. Beef cattle specialist Dr. Jason Banta says cattle bodies will accommodate for their winter diet.
Physiologically, their bodies will actually allow them to eat just a little bit more during the cold weather to help them manage that stress.
In addition to the extra food,
with the cold spell that we had this past week, it's very important that you have windbreakers for them, whether that's, tree lines or getting old quality hay lined up to where they can go in and they can nestle in the hay and spread it out, especially for the calves.
Ultimately, Herod and Banta agree the cold weather can impact the industry's ability to make an economic profit in the spring and summer.
These cold days, weeks that we're experiencing and the ebbs and flows of the temperatures has a real big effect on our ability to keep our costs balanced and consistent.
When it comes to caring for herds in East Texas,
I think it's important to be preparing and making sure that we've got the mindset that these animals are in need of our help. And ranchers, if they have livestock, I assure you they care about them as it is our livelihood.
Lauren Taylor, KLTV 7 News.
The ranchers tell us they often have to break ice and water troughs or put heater blocks in there to make sure their herds do have access to water, which they say is key to helping them during these colder months.